Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Friday the 26th of January 2018. So yesterday in the pound, the market giving back some of its gains. Started off well with some buying, followed by some selling, and then moved lower until it found support, which you can see here with the pogo stick type bar. Market then traded sideways, waiting for news. This came in the afternoon in the form of Steve Mnuchin and Trump speaking about the weakening dollar. The pound took off as what Mnuchin said fell on deaf ears, which you'll see here. It's got Trump rescues dollar from Mnuchin massacre, and yield curve crashes there as well. So that's what was behind this yesterday. I'll get you the right chart. There we go. And then we see huge volume, and the dollar recover and the pound sell off until you see the buying coming in here. Bit of a test here, no follow through in any buying, and then once the market reverses, closes below the 142.50, it's down we go. And if you have a look at the dollar index, find that, you will see yesterday, just make that a bit easy to see, that the market tried to test. But you can also see that on the overnight now that the market is starting to move lower once again. We'll just go into a monthly chart here, because I do like these bigger pictures to see where the market is. We're below 89 now, and we're heading further south, and that's the way it's going to continue, despite the rhetoric of what Trump wants. He said initially that he wanted a weaker dollar, and that's what he wants. He wants to get inflation up and try and inflate his way out of the debt situation under his watch, is what he's trying to do. So whatever he says about strengthening the US dollar, take with a pinch of salt. And right one again, there we go. So the daily chart of the pound, you can see yesterday there was some selling around. Anybody that had been long for a while may have got taken out of their position, but as we've just seen with the dollar index moving lower, the pound is moving back to the upside. And of course we're looking for the market to close above this recent high here of 143.45. That's where we're looking for this market to go. News today, what have we got? I know Davos is on. Let's see what else we've got. Nothing really prelim. The thing is, the market's not taking any notice of the news at the moment. It's just, as we've seen, just ploughing ahead. The only one to be concerned about, I suppose, is Carney's out at 2 PM, so just watch that one. And in the Dow, well, interestingly enough, I had a friend of mine yesterday saying, what did I think the Dow was going to do at the open? And I said, we're going to get the usual pattern. The market's been moved higher over 100 points in the pre-market session. Wait for the market to test, and then we will get the long side. But as he pointed out, there wasn't any signal to actually go off. Well, believe it or not, you can actually use the markup tools to actually get into the market at any point. You don't need to wait until there are dots on the chart. Now, over the last few months, we've been talking about the market, how it actually tests. We get the selling, they try and buy it back, and we get further selling in this bar, and then the market, we get the obligatory test. And after this, you can see the volume starts to move down a bit, and then we get this bar here. But what the market's also doing as it moves lower here, and I'm going to show you this with the parabolics, and they're set at 20, 20, 40. Go to left click on apply. I'm just going to spread these out a bit so you can see a bit more clearly, and I'll just grab the markup tool. So you can see here that the parabolic is oscillating between green, red, green, and then eventually it all turns red, and then we start to see green coming back into the market. So you've got the lower highs with the red parabolic, and then at this point you can see here that we've got the lower high after the market has actually tested, and given that the market is finding support here, this will leave you free then to move back to the upside with it. And this has been the pattern for the last few days. This is how this market has been working. And just to show you this, you'll see the market slightly down at the moment, but no doubt will make its way back before we have the open session, the main session at 2:30. Meanwhile, in the daily, we have a new all-time high. So it's the usual thing now to get all-time highs. And here we see the market putting in 26,453, heading towards 27,000. As I always say, that at some point this is going to end. We just don't know when or how it's going to end, but it will. It always does. Meanwhile, in the implied volatility, we're up 1142 from 1125. The market was whipsaw yesterday, moved down in the overnight before moving back to the upside, and this is why you're seeing this. But there is certainly a situation going on at the moment where both the volatility and the market are moving higher together, which is very, very strange. Shouldn't be doing this even if it recovers, but it is. So again, there's something not quite right about what's going on at the moment. Right, before we finish, let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is fairly quiet, but today is the test of its resilience, I suppose, one way or the other, because we've got the expiration of the 1st January CME Bitcoin futures contract. So let's see if this creates some volatility, or the purpose that the CME created the futures contract was to reduce the volatility, but who knows. It's been fairly quiet this week, very, very range bound for this market, given how big the moves have been in recent months. It's very, very quiet at the moment. Right, that will do it for this one and for this week. If there's anything to report, I will do. Other than that, have a great weekend, and as ever, thanks for watching.